The Old Gold Club, powered by Wolverhampton Building Supplies, with Mikey Burrows and Chris Iwelumo.
Welcome along to the Old Gold Club. I'm Mikey Burrows. Alongside me, as ever, is Chris Iwelumo. And our guest this week spent 5 years at Molineux, flying down the wing, earning promotion and an England cap on the way. The ping pong prince himself, which if you need an explanation, it'll be on the podcast. Mr. Matt Jarvis, welcome back to Molineux.
Yeah, do you know, it's the first time I've been back since I left. It's incredible. I haven't been back, or I've not ever played against them since or anything. So happy memories.
We may as well get straight into it. You mentioned first time you've been back since you left, because one of the things that I wanted to ask you about is what happened when you left. Do you remember that period? Because there was a lot of almost debate as to whether you wanted to leave, whether you tried to leave. What happened?
Yeah. Well, I remember when we all come back into pre-season, and Sol Backham was manager, and he come in and he said, there's we're all back in. If we're going to be focused on the upcoming season, and there was quite a few players that didn't really know what was going to go on, and I'm sure everyone's been in this position before. A new manager comes in, a lot of players are hoping to move, some are hoping to stay, some are don't know what's going on, and for me, I was playing probably my best football I've played at the time. I was doing really well. I as you said, I'd played for England. I was thinking if a club come in the Premier League, that it would be a good opportunity for me to go and play and try and get back in the England squad and play in the Premier League, but the way it unfolded was that I did the full pre-season. I worked extremely hard all pre-season, did all the pre-season games, and I played the first two games of the season. Gave it everything, as I did for the whole time I was here, and it was just the club. I remember going down. I was training, running down the steps, and someone, I can't remember who it was, shouted and just said that West Ham had put in, I think they said that was going to be that was it, their last bid. And so I went back in and spoke to the manager, and then spoke to Jez Moxey and just sort of said, well, if this is going to be their last bid, and it's my last opportunity to go back to the Premier League, then I would like to go.
Because there was debate at the time that it was kind of, people were almost split between that you wanted to leave and that the club wanted you to leave because they made good money from you.
Yeah, I think ultimately it was a good deal for everyone. I wanted to be back playing in the Premier League, where I'd spent the last 3 years playing really well. I think the club got a very good deal financially, and that's football, unfortunately. I really enjoyed my time here. I absolutely loved it, and it's really, really nice to come back. But at that time, I was sort of 25. I was playing my best football. I wanted to be back in the Premier League and playing there.
Can I say something there? I thought that was a very, difficult question. I think you answered it fantastically well. Football's football. You said it right there. There's no loyalties in the game of football today, and that's from club to player, from player to club. As a club, they want to be the best that they can. They want to be at the best level. As football players, as individuals, we want to play at the best that we believe that we can go. Yeah. And there's if someone puts in a transfer request, and I've always said it, and I've been over the years, if someone goes in and says, look, that's my opportunity to go and play at a higher level and play against better players or play with better players, whatever it may be, there's no wrong answer in that. Now, I feel that you're all, when you're answering, you're thinking, right, okay, I don't want to say the wrong thing. We want brutal honesty here, because you were an excellent servant to the club. You were the ultimate professional. No one can say you didn't deserve that move. So you let it go, get it out there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, there isn't loyalties. You've experienced it when a player's injured, and they're no good to the club. and what comes from it from there. So as I say, Javo, you deserved everything that you got. So just answer that, and you're sitting saying, "Oh yeah, but get it out there, matey."
Yeah. Well, that's it really. I when they said that was going to be their last bid, because they'd had a few bids rejected, and they were like that's it, and that was my opportunity to get back in the Premier League. So yeah, I went in and spoke to them and said that was the deal I wanted to take.
Because it's a really interesting debate, actually, because there will be people that for some fans there will be players that they look at and kind of are frustrated of what happened in that time. But actually, I looked up the stats. You actually scored 7 goals in the last 14 appearances of that relegation season. If there was anybody that you could say wasn't giving their absolute all at the time, you are not in that realm of it.
No, and the thing is, it's really difficult because after that West Brom game and coming in the next day and Mick sitting us all down and basically saying that that's it, he's done, was devastating. It was gutting. I mean, I would say pretty much everyone in that squad Mick brought to the club, and worked with us every single day. Him along with TC worked with us every single day on the training pitch, and for me, like both of them, developed me as a player from when I first signed to when I left. They had the biggest influence on me, and to go from that's all I sort of knew at Wolves, to then Mick going, and then TC, who was brilliant, going to taking over as the manager for the rest of the season, which I think he found extremely difficult, along with everyone else. You just keep going and wanting to give your all, and that's exactly what I did. And as you said, I scored 7 in 14, which was just something I was trying. I don't know whether you can say you're trying even harder, because I gave it everything every game, but it just, I wanted to make sure that TC, he'd done so much hard work that I was trying to do everything possible to keep us up, really. But ultimately, I suppose it worked in my favour that I scored them goals that ultimately got me the move back into the Premier League.
Yeah, you said there that Mick and TC, they worked, and really your rapid improvement, and you came, but you put in so much work behind the scenes that no one will ever know. Like, I was coming in the morning, you're out with the sleigh before training, that you worked at so many different parts of your game, and it's like, and you hear the same story from all these people that have went on and achieved great things. Oh yeah, they put in the work. He was the first person there and the last person out. You were that guy every day. So tell us a little bit more about. Like, I know that you know that yourself, that you came to a club. You've got the potential. You've got the belief in yourself, but it's still a mindset. It's to keep at it after so many little stumbling blocks, injuries, whatever it may be. But you had to get pulled off of certain things because it was bringing. You were working so hard that they also had to say, you need to calm it down as well, didn't they? Yeah.
Well, I think ultimately, as a kid, you always want to, you want to be a professional footballer. It's everyone's dream. And my mindset was, I've got this opportunity, and I wanted to be the best that I possibly can be. And I've still got that now. I still, work. I still come in early. I still do the stuff that I want to do. I still go in the gym after training. That's just me. That's the way I am. I love it, and I will continue to do it as long as possible, and probably afterwards when I can't, I still go to the gym and still do all of that. But I had this opportunity coming up to Wolves, and I had to give it absolutely everything. And I think the group of lads that we had at the time was everyone come from similar sort of playing careers, lower leagues, or been at other clubs but haven't really played, and we were all hungry. We all wanted to improve. We all wanted to play in the Championship, but ultimately we all wanted to play in the Premier League. And I think that was what the hunger was. And we had great people around us. As Looms just said, we had, TC used to take me out pretty much, maybe not every day, but I used to go out before training. Dale's, what a fitness coach to have in my position especially. He was a wide man, he was a winger, he was lightning, he was everything that I was trying to be as well. So I had his experience telling me what he thinks that I should try and improve, work on, and I had TC that worked on my game every single day with me. So I used to be out every morning, trying to work on cutting in and bending it into the top right hand corner. Or, if not, running down the line and crossing it to the far stick, crossing it to the near post, cutting it back to the edge of the box. I had these things drilled into me every single day. And the person I would take that on board, and I was trying to do it. And I was trying. And that's why now, my left foot's... Okay, I'm right-footed, but my left foot is very good. I can use it to do a lot of things. But that's only because that I worked on it every single day. And I had, for me... I used to, get the ball, try and go down the line. If you didn't, you cut back and you put across. If I went down the line and I look up and I've got, I had Looms, Sylvan, Doyler, Vokesy, Fletch, all these people that were unbelievable in the air. It made my job easy. All I had to do was make myself get a yard. So I use my sort of pace or skill or whatever just to get past the fullback. If I did that, I knew all I had to do was just put it into an area. So if I just put it into the far post or wherever, I knew that these guys would just run on and head it. And that was it. It's just working on simple things, getting a yard, putting a good cross in.
Can I ask you a slightly weird question? Like, when you're in that position and you look up, is what you're going to do different, say if you see him in there, to maybe someone like Sylvan? Do you think I can just hang it up for him because he's a monster?
Yeah, I think
pretty nice.
I mean that in the best way.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. I think with the difference between that, I would sort of hang it up and let Looms come on and head it. With Silva, I'd maybe more try and cut it back, get it into his feet because he was so good at backing up, getting his body in between him and the player and getting the ball into his feet, and he'd always get a shot off. Yeah. If it was just a snapshot or something, he'd always manage to get a shot off. So I'd go down the line or I'd cut back and I'd look for his feet and try and drill it into his feet. Whereas Looms, I'd put it into the box and hope he'd run onto and smash it.
How frustrating is it, like when you're doing everything right? Because as I say, we've spoke to a few people over the last couple of weeks as well, and injury stops you from doing what you love. How hard is that for you to take on? Because you are the ultimate professional. Yeah. And again, something's stopping you from doing what you love.
Yeah, I'm smiling because it is the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with, really. Like being injured. It's extremely frustrating. It's extremely difficult. I've every single day, all I've wanted to do is play football. And when I was at Wolves, the gym was looking out onto the training pitch, like most places. So you're in there, injured, not being able to do what you love to do, and then watching everyone else train, thinking, "Oh, I should be out there," but you can't. It is the most frustrating thing ever for me at the minute, and it's really hard to deal with. Physically, it's hard to deal with. Mentally, is extremely difficult. And especially for me, like recently, it's probably been on that side of things. I've been very fortunate that while I've been injured, I've had a son with my wife, so that sort of really helped me through my journey of getting back to fitness. But it's been the hardest sort of couple of years of my life for sure.
I mean, you have had to deal with it right back to the very start of your Wolves career.
Yeah.
You arrive and get injured in pre-season and have to wait till October.
I know, yeah. I remember when I first signed, I got injured in pre-season and I was gutted. I was like thinking, I've just got here. I just want to show everyone what I can do. Yep. It's a new place. I didn't know any of the lads, so I just bedding in, just getting in. When you go on pre-season, that's how you get to know all your teammates. That's how you form bonds with your fellow players. You have a laugh. Everything's sort of on the pre-season. That's how everyone gets together. I got injured, and then Mick actually said to me, he said, because I was gutted, and he was like, when I first got my move to Celtic, I was injured for the first couple of months as well. He said 3 or 4 months, I think he was, and he was like, so I understand. He's like, 'cause he didn't put any pressure on me. He was like, oh God, I can't believe you're injured. But he made it a little bit easier. He was like, just relax, make sure you're right. When you come back, then you can start hitting the ground running. And I was like, but I want to be back. I want to get playing. But ultimately I had to wait. had injury, got myself back fit, and then when I was fit, then I was ready to roll, and it started from there.
You said that you brought up Mick. Obviously, again, for me, when you get asked that question, one of the best managers. That is good management, isn't it?
Yeah.
How was that relationship with you and Mick? Because we're hearing over the last couple of weeks, well, father-son relationship. How was he with you? He knows what it's like to go to a new club. He sees that you get injured. You want to come. You want to impress because you've got those qualities. That gets taken away from you. What's your relationship with Mick over that period?
Like I said, that was one of the first things he sort of said to me, because I was gutted. Like I said, I was really annoyed. I was really upset that I'd just come to a club where I was just starting out. I'm away from home. It's first sort of time that I was away when I was at digs and stuff like that growing up, but this is the first time I've actually moved up. I've moved away, and I get injured straight away. And but as I said, he was great. He said that to me straight away. And then he was always, whenever he see me in and around, like, because he was there, come in, pop in, how are you doing? How's it feeling? Any improvement? Blah, blah, blah. Make sure everything's all right. Don't rush it. Do this. And he was great. And that sort of bond, I suppose, it carried on. I still speak to him now. I mean, he was a massive influence on my career. So I owe him an awful lot.
There were some... I mean, you talk about massive influence. Obviously, the period of form that took you to the England cap will, I guess, always stand out for what you achieved in that, which was remarkable. You were the first Wolves player since Steve Bull in 1990 to represent England. And I remember talking to you around that time, and you are a very humble man, it has to be said. But there must be a part of you that just beams with pride at that.
Yeah, I mean, I remember we were speaking loads around that period, because I think there was a squad just before, and you were sort of trying. You were like, we'll keep trying. You're gonna get there. And I was like,
I was trying to claim that I was getting him into the squad,
but we chatted loads about it. But yeah, I mean, I've said this before, but I'm very hard to look back and start reminiscing and think of it was great, because I'm still playing. I still got more that I want to do, and I'm always on to the next thing. I think my wife will say exactly the same thing. I'm never happy with what I've done. I want to keep doing something else. So I think once I'm retired and looking back, then I'll be like, yeah, that was amazing. Like what a career, an achievement to do. But every day, when I'm at home, from when I played, I got Jodie to paint a picture that is a photo of me in the England squad, in the kit, with a ball under my arm, Jarvis 15 on the back, and just sort of little bit to the side. It was a proper posed one. I don't know where it was from.
Was it a picture?
Yeah, it was from the game.
I'm just thinking you've got a picture.
No.
You just want to I'll pose for you if you want me. So it was an actual picture?
It was actually from the game. I think it was like, there must have been it was a throw-in or something.
Yeah.
And there was an injury or something, and I was just standing there holding it, and it's a full-on normal picture. I wasn't posing or anything. Normal picture, and then I got Jodie to paint it, and it's just a one-off original from Jode, and it's in my house, and every time I walk past it, I'm just like, wow, yeah.
But you say that,
brilliant.
So proud, fantastic achievement. You come back into the group of players. You must be changed in some sort of way. You must have come in there thinking, you know what?
I don't know, you saw me. I don't think I was like that. I think I come back. I think Mick sort of said to me when I first come back in, right, now you're in the England squad, every defender's going to want to have the better of you. So you're going to have to adapt your game. You're going to have to think, right, if I always go down the line, I've now got to cut in a bit. I've got to then, if I always cut in, I've got to go down the line. It made it harder, I think, and because you earned more respect, I suppose, off your fellow professionals. Your right back would be marking out right. He's not having it off me today. So I had to really work even harder to try and improve, to make sure that I kept him guessing whether I was going down the line, whether I was cutting inside, whether I was shooting, whether I was crossing. And I think it made me an even better player.
You look at the stats for you, and it is phenomenal that when you arrived, and as we talked about, you were injured for a fair old while, but you still had 1 goal and 3 assists in the first season. Then, despite missing 2 months through injury, you score 3 and 10 goals on the way to promotion, that we're going to talk about in a minute. In the Premier League first season, 3 goals, 6 assists. Second season, 4 goals, 7 assists. You were supporters and players player of the year that year. And then we've already talked about your contribution at the back end of the final season in the Premier League. That, for a stretch of consistency, for providing in the team, when you will look back on your career, and I hope there is still more to come, but that surely will be the best period of your life, won't it?
Yeah, I think I said this. I suppose that that group of lads, that change room, we're all sort of similar ages. We're all wanted to to get better, to improve, and we were successful, and ultimately that's enjoyable. And that was my probably most enjoyable time playing football, because we were winning most weeks. We were playing great football in the Premier League. We were in the Premier League for 3 years and still producing, and it was amazing. It was amazing. It was a really, really good squad, and I think everyone's still pretty close. We still speak, regular basis. Everyone's still, fire messages around everywhere. It's still like a close squad. I don't know if you ever experienced that at every place you go. I think it was quite unique, really.
No, I definitely agree with that. I think when I came into the group, so many leaders, the characters, different characters, but it was very united, and like you say, with success, you do enjoy those times, but we never got it all our own way, and it's and I think it's definitely that performances. Jarvo was one of them that we one bit of quality, he could just lift the full, and not everyone's got that. I can go and smash someone, or it's just, but you just see something, and think we've got something different. If it was pace, that bit of quality. Like there, I took it for granted when you took it to the line.
Yeah.
And I knew the ball was coming in. I knew, the head's up, you see him looking a couple of times, I'm hanging back, or I know if he's got the time, I can break it. He had that final bit of quality. It was always there, consistently, but I see him working at it every day.
I think that's it right there. I think because we worked at it so many times, like, You would be out. You'd know if I picked the ball up and I was taking my fullback on. You knew that I was gonna obviously attempt to put a cross in, but I was gonna get a cross in, and then you saw where I was going to where the cross would go.
Yeah.
If I was coming more towards goal, coming towards her, it wasn't going to be hung up at the back stick. It was going to be cut back, so you'd make your run there, and you knew that. And then if I was running down the line and it was like a race and I was going to put a cross in, more than likely it was going to the far post.
Yeah.
So you just. From working every day, it made life a lot easier.
You two, of course, famously combined in a game that lots of people would kill me if we didn't ask about, which is the promotion season, and it's the remarkable home game with Nottingham Forest. And I say, there's a lot of people that have been getting in touch with us across social media who are saying that was the game when they truly knew that there was something special about that team. And talk me through your wonderful combination.
I think before that, that game, I think everyone was right. I think we come in at half time. I think, was it 4-0 at half time?
Yep.
And we come in and everyone was just like, wow, we've really played well there. But that was our team. That was 4-4-2. Get it wide, get crosses in, be creative, and just go out and do what we do. And I think everything just sort of, not clicked, but everything went as we planned, I suppose, and what we'd worked on throughout the whole of that season. It just worked.
Yeah.
And that's why we went 4-0 up, and it was just an incredible game.
That goal, it came from Carl Henry. He went in and just, straight from their kick, because we just scored a couple minutes before, they've kicked off, and Henry just went, this is on to win. He's challenged, and the loose ball, he's got the ball and he's just put it down. And I've never seen anything. I nearly had a fight with Jonathan Hogg at Watford, because I said that Jarvo was the fastest player, and he went, I think Gabby Abongho. He says, oh no, well, that'd be a race I'd pay money to see that. You know what I mean? So what he done to Wes Morgan that day, and I'm on a course. I'm on the the effective board member course with Wes, and it's just I will remind him of this next Wednesday when I see him. I'll say it. I have to get a wee clip because it's on my social media. What I seen that day, that everyone just performed at the level, and like you say, we knew as a group before that what the potential was. But again, you have to show everyone else at moments like that. You know, like one of these, like Jarvis said, it just clicked. And you brought it up for the fact that I've went to Jarvo and he's waiting and he's ready for me just to celebrate. And then I just got taken over by the fans here behind the goal, and I've just went. I remember Sylvan. I think it was after the game. He said, "Oh, cheers, Jarvo." You know, like a proper having a go. And I've done push-ups in Dublin Airport and all sorts, apologising.
We were gonna bring it up, but yeah, he. Many years went by, and then someone brought it up, and I think it must have been on the day this time last year or whatever it was. The clip came up, and then everyone was battering him for not coming to celebrate me because he actually ran towards me, and then I'm there like yeah, and then he turned and ran the other way, and then I was like wow, and then so true to his word, he apologised, and he got filmed doing 10 press ups in the middle of an airport.
Yeah, my daughter's,
and posted it out and said, "There's my apology." And I was like,
and the reason why I apologise for that is because that's what I always ask. You know, it was give me 5. You know, if they've done something that I feel that 5, please make sure you count it out. So it was counted out. People just in a little circle around me in the queue for the plane. Just that, but you know what? He was excellent for me. And not only for me, just for the team. I mean, there was so many players that season that reached levels and like you say, we stayed top of the league from the first or second week in September, and we were there till the last. You know, that says that to do that. You know, when the championship, as competitive as it is, says so much about the group, the club, the fans. Excellent, outstanding.
We're going to talk, you mentioned press-ups. There's something that's just come into my mind about some things that went on regarding Wolves fashion shows with these guys that we'll talk about in the podcast extra.
I've seen that firsthand, might I say.
And we're also going to talk on the podcast extra about the West Ham game in the Premier League. Almost, a big relegation 6-pointer that was a massive, massive moment in Wolves' Premier League adventure. We're just going to finish off the Facebook and YouTube show with the rundown, which is kind of a little bit quick-fire. It's your chance to kind of stick it to some of your former teammates.
You know I'm not like that.
Well, I mean, this is a nice one. We always start off with, who was the best player that you played with at Wolves?
See, that's tough. That is tough because...
Looms won't be upset if you don't say him.
What's that?
It's tough. It is tough. I think I had a really good understanding with quite a few players. So I had a really good understanding with Jonah. He was sort of the only left-footed player in the middle. So he always used to come out to my side because everyone else used to go out to the right because it's natural to go out, be right foot, come out to right. So Jonah will be up there, but I think Fletch. To be fair, I think if you look at, I remember he won like Golden Boot for the last year, and he was on at the end of the season awards. He was looking up, and everyone was showing his goals, and I was looking up, going, "Yeah, that was me, that was me, that was me," and I'm like, "Fletch, yeah." So I was like, so I think we had a very good relationship. Yeah,
spot on. Worst trainer at the club? Again, I won't take offence.
No, I'm trying to think who used to... Christoph used to always get the yellow jersey, didn't he? When we used to do Old for Young and that. But I don't know whether that was just because... I don't think he was probably the worst trainer, but I think he just got picked all the time.
See, I think I threw big Stefan Meyerhofer under the bus a few times.
Yeah.
I did.
I've met TC a few times since, and he always used to say that if my team was struggling, I used to just literally quickly go and do something and score, and then that would be me. I wouldn't be seen after that. because that's what I used to do. Day before training, I didn't really want to do too much. But if my team was struggling, like if we were on the olds or if I was on the olds, I'd quickly do something just to be out of the boat, and then that would be me. I'd stand on the sidelines again.
Biggest moaner?
Sylv, by far. Or Carl Henry, but Sylv probably on the pitch.
No, Sylv's definitely the biggest moaner. I think Carl Henry, just throws his opinions around far too. Who was your best friend at Wolves?
Again, difficult, but I suppose I hung around with Dave Edwards and Vokesy, probably.
Okay, and the final one for the Facebook and YouTube show, we'll finish this off on the podcast extra. What was your proudest moment at Wolves?
Proudest moment? I think standing up in the gallery looking down when we'd been promoted and all the fans on the pitch. That was something special. Yeah, probably that, rather than when everyone was on the pitch and I was still on there and trying to fight my way back. That was quite scary. But the actual looking down on the pitch when we were all up there, one promotion, that was pretty impressive.
Okay. Much more from Matt Jarvis will be on our podcast extra, available to download from all the usual places. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you download that podcast.
The Old Gold Club, powered by Wolverhampton Building Supplies, with Mikey Burrows and Chris Iwelumo.